Comments from the public. At this time, the council welcomes comments from the public on any subject. If you have a comment, please step to a microphone, state your name and address, and address the chair. Each speaker will have 3 minutes for their comment.
Okay, my name is Jamie Barnett. I live at 6556 West 300 North. And I believe there needs to be some type of approval by the City Council concerning what our local police department is allowed to own or receive from the federal government and or the U.S. military. I'll explain why. The Obama administration has been flooding local police forces throughout the country with military supplies, MRAPs, assault rifles, ammunition, military attire. But why? All across the country, there's been a barrage of laws stripping us of our rights, laws being passed and enforced. I have friends in Connecticut where a full gun registration law has been passed. 90% of the people aren't complying, including most local police. Obama has no way to enforce this law without compliance from the local police. He needs to have control over the local police. So now he slowly blends his military into our local police. He has a police logo on his Homeland Security agents. And he supplies our local police with military supplies with strings attached, some type of agreement to work together. Do we want to lose control of our local police? Do we want them enforcing unconstitutional laws created by the 1% running this country? Laws that now exist, such as indefinite detention without due process. Laws that categorize our veterans as terrorists. State of emergency laws that take away our right to keep and bear arms indefinitely. Other local police forces have risen up and stated they will not enforce these laws. Let's not enforce these laws. Let's take a stand as others already have. Let's keep control of our own police force. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Barnett. Comments from the public.
Hello, my name is Angela Moldenhauer, maiden name Taylor, and I'm sure you're aware that I spoke with Ron Meir, our mayor, and Swistek and Williams, and I made it available to the public on YouTube recently. Actually, it was yesterday. And I'm not sure how many of you are aware that as we sit right now, the video with Swistek has gotten about 2,400 views. On Facebook right now, it's been shared several hundred times. It's on Michigan City Moms, and there's quite a debate going on. I personally had about 300 people comment to me today about this subject. And no matter which way they go, I'm not saying that everybody was for these MRAPs or against these MRAPs, but everybody is in agreement that obviously they want the debate. They want it vetted through the people. And just so that you're aware, I was hoping that I would have a packet for each one of you today, and I will mail that to you. But as I went to go print more things, a big sign came up that said out of toner. And sometimes those things happen for a reason. So I'm gonna ad-lib quite a bit here. But as Jamie had said, I'm not sure if you guys are aware of this, there are 12,000 MRAPs already promised to local police departments around the country. These are military vehicles. Don't let your conscience fool you. These are military vehicles that have been used or will be used for that purpose. That's what they're designed for. Berrien County, there's local headlines yesterday. They just received one. Maryville has one. On the schedule to get one is LaPorte and Valpo. Why so many in such a close proximity? Is there a true need for that? I mean, I don't know what kind of criminals we're going to be facing here, but I want to shed some light on this because I believe in this power. Okay? checks and balances and the American way, our traditions. I don't believe that any one individual should have the power to say what goes and what doesn't go. You know, this is still a democracy, I think. But Swistek's comments bothered me quite a bit. Ron, and you were pretty much taken off guard. I appreciate your comments to me, by the way. Thank you. But he called it a paramilitary. I'm going to make sure you all have links for this, because you need to hear what he's saying in your behalf, this department. He called it a paramilitary. He said continuously, almost like degrading me, "Miss Taylor, have you ever been shot at? Have you ever been shot at, Miss Taylor?" Well, I'm not a police officer, no. But I have witnessed abuse from the department. It's why my address is 403 South 19th Street, Chesterton. I lived here for 32 years. Tim, you were my principal. Gail, we've shared a few beers. Ron, I know your dad, and we spent time at Mick's house, hanging out. What are we doing? Just think about this. Stop for a minute. Stop. Wait. Not everything has to be so fastly done.
Ms. Taylor.
Why? Why so many vehicles?
Ms. Taylor, you've exceeded your 3 minutes. Please wrap it up.
Okay. Well, I want to leave this with you. This is from August 29th, and it is your Michigan City Police Department. I forwarded this to the 2nd District representative, and it says, "Another good training mission, District 1 strike team with Mark Raymond." And in here, and I'll make sure that the press gets a copy of this, emergency response, Homeland Skills, homed with Homeland Security drill. They've been running drills this whole time at the Port of Indiana, Lake County, Porter County, and your Michigan City Police Department. I knew that this would be erased, so I saved copies. This is Marty Corley's Facebook, and on here I put, "Looks more like the military than the police." You should see these pictures.
Thank you, Ms. Taylor. If you would, please.
I will.
If
I will make sure you get packets.
You can leave that at the clerk's office, and she will distribute it amongst council
Okay.
members.
Well, I just want to let you know it's more than just MRAPs. It says drones are on order.
Okay. Thank you. Comments from the public?
My name's Justin Allison, 420 East US Highway 20, Michigan City, Indiana. My only objection to what was just said is a Facebook page, a MySpace, a social media network. This has caused everything to blow up so abruptly. Yes, I saw it. Yes, that's the reason I'm here. Oh, no, I did get to see it. Thank you very much. It's my turn to speak. Thanks. With the military vehicles, look at volunteer fire departments across this country. Most of them have received a pickup, a Humvee, something of the sort. Helps. Every little bit helps. Nobody has to spend the money out. It's there. We have 2 Humvees. Hummers, Humvees, what are they? Humvee? Thank you. Something of the sort. We have 2. What's the problem with getting something else? We're not paying for it. Oh, we spent $4,500 to get it here. It's the price. Who cares? That's a very cheap rate for something that it can potentially save lives. You were asked if you've been shot at. Oh, I'm not a police officer. I haven't been shot at. You think cops are the only people get shot at? No, they're the guys that have to go. They don't have a choice. They signed up for it. You signed up to come here. You live in Chesterton, not here.
Ms. Taylor, let Mr. Allison make his comment. And please make your comment to the bench.
Sure.
You're supposed to address the bench, sir.
Very sorry. I apologize. Not sincerely. My only thing, it's a great thing. It's great that we are receiving help. Everybody partakes. It's there. It's available. Why not have it? Our guys deserve it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Allison. Other public comment?
Dennis Matheny, 6757 West 450 North, and I own property on the west side of Michigan City on 10th Street. I'd like to read a little something to you here. This is Indiana Code 5-14-3-1, Public Policy, Construction, Burden of Proof, and Non-Disclosure. A fundamental philosophy of the American constitutional form of a representative government is that the government is the servant of the people and not the master. And I think that pretty well covers it in regards to what you people are elected to do by the electorate. I sat here and listened about economic development earlier. One of the things that we're having a problem with in Michigan City that businesses don't want to address is their comment is qualified people. I'm going to reference what qualified really is. It really is we don't have enough people that aren't on drugs. That's what qualified is. I talked to one company, 400 people applied. 60 people came. When they said they were going to give the drug test, 6 is all that stayed. So we have a drug problem. And dare to use drugs is ridiculous. We need to face the facts. We need to face reality. You want business here, get the school grades up, get the drugs down, and you might see an improvement in Michigan City. I've lived around Michigan City and in Michigan City for 65 years. I've seen it boom and I've seen it bust. And it's on the bust, in my opinion, if you're a realist. If you're optimistic, it's going up. Second thing that bothered me was to hear paramilitary. I would like to ask a question of anybody on the council or the attorney, if you could tell me which Indiana law says the police are a paramilitary organization. I've done 2 shows in Michigan City. Time to Blow the Whistle on TV for 16 years. I've done a radio show for 5 years with another gentleman who's no longer here. What bothers me is we don't get the answers that we ask the questions to. I would like an answer from somebody, and I will give my phone number so that any of you can call me and tell me what that law is, because I'd like to look that up. I've supported the police department for 21 years. I'm not against the police. But why do we need a vehicle that's bomb-proof, bulletproof? I was an electrician. Does that make me a hero because I went to work every day? Does that make a fireman a hero because that's his choice? Or a city councilman a hero because it's their choice? That's our choice. That's what we do. I respect firemen, policemen. I try to give respect to people that give respect to me. So I would certainly appreciate if I could get an answer to my question, what law says they're a paramilitary?
Mr. Matheny, you've exceeded 3 minutes. Please
And
conclude.
I just have one more thing. 793,000, the newspaper said. Take that times 12,000 vehicles and tell me how much federal tax money we've spent. Nothing's free.
Thank you, Mr. Matheny. Comments from the public? Public comment?
My name's Doug Hinchman. I live at 2707 North Tiffany Drive. My question is regarding the MRAP as well. We've called it free. Somebody here has already established it costs roughly $4,500. $4,500 to trailer it here. They're going to retrofit it. They have not given any price on what the retrofitting would cost. Those are debts directly to the city. Those are not federal funds. I'd like to see some kind of numbers put out there that are honest, forthcoming, before we decide we're going to pay them. I feel like this vehicle should be put on hold first until they do anything with it. I also question how it will affect our infrastructure being 20-plus tons. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hinchman. Other comments from the public?
I'm sorry. Shelley Nolf.
I'm sorry, ma'am, your name?
Shelley Nolf.
Thank you.
My comments are free speech zones and our First Amendment areas. If we lose all of our traditions and our freedoms under the guise of safety, then what are we even protecting? Our way of life is gone. Because of one unfortunate event in New York, we've had to sacrifice the freedoms of all we love. All 12,000 MRPs would have saved us from that or what happened that day. In Boston, they used these to shut down the city for one man and go door to door. The police used them mostly on peaceful protests. And if you have a police chief that has gone rough and has forgotten that he is a civil servant, for what I've observed, he's only serving himself.
Ms. Knoll, would you provide us your address?
Yes, 11806 West, 200 South.
Thank you. Comments from the public? Comment from the public.
Good evening. My name is Mark Moldenhauer, 403 South 19th Street, Chesterton. I know I'm not from Michigan City, but I'm only 15 minutes away. I do have family and friends here. As far as the MRAP situation goes and paramilitary discussion, how do we put that on the agenda? Can we do that?
Pardon me?
How do we put that whole discussion on the agenda? Is that possible? Can we do that?
Probably the only way you could do it would be as if one of the members of the council were to draft some legislation, but I'll defer to what our attorney, Mr. Meyer, says.
That would be the way to get it on the agenda. I mean, you can always have discussion like you are now for public comment. So it's on the agenda in the sense that it's open for public comment.
The legislation
council
that's on the
comment.
council's agenda is drafted by a member of city government. You could write a letter, and that would be on the agenda under correspondence, but your letter would not be written it would not be read at a council meeting. It would be identified, and the public would be informed that it's in the clerk's office for their review. Other than that, I believe you're just limited to public comment.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Comments from the public? Comments from the public?
James Vega, Michigan City, 3122 Edgebrook Drive. With all these vehicles being deployed, is there something that the government knows that the citizens of the United States doesn't know about? That they're trying to hide something from the public? I mean, when you see what's going on in this country right now, what the president is allowed to do, I mean, my opinion, one word comes to mind: dictatorship coming. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Bigger. Any other comment from the public? Comments from the council? Mr. Beatrice.
Mr. President, I can answer one question that was asked tonight. I think it was Mr. Hinchman when he said that this is not free. These MRAPs are not free because we had to go and get it, and that cost $4,600, and the upkeep will cost additional monies too. But I do know that the monies that were spent to bring this vehicle to Michigan City came from the drug fund, monies that were confiscated at drug rests. And my understanding is that those are the same monies that are going to be spent to pay for gas, anything else that's needed on this vehicle. So right now the police department doesn't plan on spending any taxpayer dollars at all on this vehicle. It's all going to come from monies and materials that are confiscated through arrests and things like that. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Beatrice. I'm glad you mentioned that. It's important that the public know that this vehicle did not end up here from funds that were appropriated by this council. If the police department had come for an appropriation, I Don't know how it would have turned out. But it's not taxpayer money, it's their money. Hopefully they'll spend it wisely, because if it came from their drug fund, which it came from their drug fund, we all know that there's a lot of work to do in that area yet in Michigan City.
And also, I would like to respond on the MRAP vehicle. As Councilman Beatry and Councilman Perry alluded to, the cost of the transportation came out of the DEA funds, which was, I believe, $44,000. And also other information that I have obtained just trying to find out about the vehicle and what it's all about and what it'll cost the city in the long run, is that the vehicle has a brand new engine in it, and it has a brand new frame on it. It came with 12 brand new tires, 12 brand new rims, and if the vehicle does not perform properly, and if something fails on it mechanically, that it can be sent back to the federal government. They will take it back. So it's not as though Michigan City is going to be stuck with a vehicle here that is going to cost us a lot of money, because I will not let that happen. And I'd like to thank Angela Taylor for coming here tonight and expressing your viewpoints on what you believe in and the people that came here. Now, I hate to disagree with you, but I am going to disagree with your stand on it. I feel that as being an elected official, that I have a responsibility to the citizens of Michigan City, to the policemen of Michigan City, and to their families. I feel that I have to provide them the safest police equipment that they can have in order to protect the citizens and also to protect the officers in their line of duty, because they're the breadwinners for their families. And that's one responsibility I take hard, is safety for the city employees, to make sure that they're okay when they go into a situation that brings harms in their way. Also, if there's a situation that occurs, I think all the citizens of Michigan City feel that a piece of equipment like that can be used, and it's there to be used. Okay? Now, if something was to happen and we did not have a piece of equipment like that, then we probably wish we would have. Now, to sit here and say that we need it or we'll never need it, I can't tell you that. And no one in this audience can tell us that a piece of equipment will ever come in use like that. Personally, I hope we never have to use it, because if it is, it'll be a bad situation. But like I said, I think it's a good investment for the police department and for the officers that are there and for the public as a whole. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Pripolinski. Other comments from the council?
Mr. President?
Mrs. Boyd.
I wasn't going to say anything, but it's not that I'm not listening to anything anybody here said tonight. I don't necessarily agree or disagree with what you've said. I need to listen to it. But I have a different thought about military surplus. It is military surplus that we're getting. It can be used in war. I'd rather not be using it in war. Or it can be sold to other countries, which might not be beneficial to us. So I guess it's kind of, you know, store it someplace or put it to use. I'm not saying it's the only choice. It's just another thought about it. Thank you.